So our God is an incredible, awesome, and a wonderful God. And in that awesomeness, I think that what we need to understand, or hopefully we can understand, the things that awe us in life. And they may be a little different for all of us. As I was coming back from the Midwest a couple of weeks ago when I was visiting my mom, I flew over the Grand Canyon and thought, wow, And it happened to be that day or two after it rained so hard in Phoenix and it had that big storm, but the Colorado River was bigger than I'd ever seen the Colorado, in the Grand Canyon. So I'm looking at all this and thinking, wow, God is an awesome God. This is beautiful. This is gorgeous. And He's even more awesome. Well, He's awesome from up there at 40,000 feet, but He's also awesome when you're right there in the midst of that. That God is an incredible, awesome God. And in that awe comes a joy. Comes an understanding that we don't understand everything about God. That He's bigger than we are. And that awe is a wonderful place to be. Wonderful place to be. Inspiration is a kind of a form, a first cousin of awe. When you're inspired and your heart, your spirits are just lifted up. Well, it's like when you're really yanked up, you're in incredible awe. You hardly can breathe. It's so exciting. God is that kind of an awesome God. And I'd like for us to take a look at what the psalmist has to say. This is Psalms 33. We're going to kind of peruse the whole chapter, but I want us to focus on verse 8 of Psalms 33 and see what the psalmist has to write about the awe of God. This is verse 8 of Psalms 33. It says, "Let all the earth fear the Lord, let all the people of the world revere Him." And in the King James it uses awe. Have awe. Stand in awe of God. Now, this is not contrary at all to the teachings of Jesus and His instructions because, again, one of the simplest statements that Jesus made to us that is so chock full of information is when the disciples ask Him about praying and He says, okay, and He gives us a outline, our Father who art in heaven. Okay, now, these are awesome statements to start with. It is inclusive. It is about a Father. It's about the relationship and about where He dwells in heaven, in a different arena than what you and I are used to, and then the way He concludes. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. There's a scripture in the Old Testament that God says that He will not share His glory with anyone. And that's because God is glorious. He is far, far more glorious. But that doesn't mean He doesn't share the beauty of what He is doing and He glorifies us. But He's always going to be the awesome God, the incredible God that we worship, that we praise, and we honor. So God has given you and me, we want to ask ourselves, has God given us anything that we are awed by? Has He given us anything? If so, what is it that we are awed by? Now, I know a lot of people are awed by power. And they think, boy, look at the strength and the might. That we're awed by people who are rich. We're awed by people who are intelligent, who can argue an argument. And I'm awed by people who are philosophers in the sense that they're able to think. Rabbi Zacharias, for example, writes books on philosophy and Christ and God, and it's like, oh my, this is so deep. My brain struggles to understand that. You read some of those things, and I just say, now, if I could just get my mind around that a little bit, because then I would have such a foundation to be able to think. Because thinking is I'm awed by the ability to think. And we can think so fast. But as we get older, we think slower, and we think repeatedly, over and over. But anyhow, the awe of that. But yet we're going to look at today the things that we can be awed by, and should be. So how does that impact us if we are awed? And what do we do with it? Now, for example, we talk about power. And this past week, a couple of things, but I'll start with this one. We were awed. Should have been awed anyway. In Switzerland, they have this 17-mile collider. And they shot the protons around this collider, 17-mile, shooting these protons through this tube. It's called a collider. Now they're going to send them in the opposite direction, 2 of them, and those atoms are going to collide. And there is speculations that they will create microscopic black holes. Now, if anyone is familiar with what scientists say about black holes, they are so powerful, nothing can escape them. Not even light can escape those things. Now, we're talking about sending just 2 little atoms that are powerful. Now, we've seen atoms at work in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And we haven't seen some hydrogen atoms at work yet. We haven't seen that, but we know it is incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. Now, God, in His fingertip, has more power than all of that put together. And together, and together, and together. We witnessed, for example, yesterday or last night, a hurricane. A massive hurricane. Not Category 5, but Category 3 hurricane. Now, if we could harness that, if, for example, we could have funneled it all into a funnel, we could add these wind turbines here in the Sassoon Bay spinning pretty fast. We could have harnessed enough power to light up energy for what? I don't know how long, but for a long time. There is so much power in an earthquake that it liquefies rock. It's so much energy. Now, it's energy. It will liquefy solid rock instantly. Now, there's that much power. Now, this is just part of what God has created. Now, you think about the power of God to hold the whole universe together. Think about, I read, again this morning, I was just reading about the power of God and power and the promises of God. And God makes this promise to Abraham. Your descendants will be more than the stars of the heavens and the sands of the sea. You know, I hadn't put the 2 together. Wait a minute. I know there's a lot of sand on the sea, shores and all of that. That's lots and lots. But then we're now seeing, we only see a few stars, but when I was back in the Midwest, oh my, I saw Mars like it was, right here on the ceiling top. Like that big orange ball that's back there. It was huge. I saw stars all over the place. But I didn't see any stars compared to what's out there. And there are many galaxies as I see stars and more. God holds it all together. Well, that is awesome. But then we have to realize that God who has all that vastness and holds it all together and all the things that He created, that His attention is on you. His eyes are on the sparrow. His attention is on you.
Our international audience can support our multimedia efforts by subscribing to PayPal, the safe and secure online payment option from eBay in the United States. Donations in the euro currency or other approved currency options are easily processed and received instantly. Show your support for Worldwide Church of God in Fairfield, California, USA. The Worldwide Church of God in Fairfield, Santa Rosa, and Modesto are located in the San Francisco Bay Area, regarded as the most prosperous region in the United States. We believe Jesus Christ when He proclaimed in Matthew 6:24 that serving God is more important than serving mammon. We welcome everyone to come and worship and fellowship every Saturday at the times listed on your screen and on our website, worldwidechurchofgod.com.